Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. My name's Economics Mate, and as you can probably see, the Vickers MBT sold out very, very quickly for 12,000 gold. Ladies and gentlemen, why? Look, don't get me wrong, it's a fantastic tank. It's really good. But why would you spend 12,000 gold on a T8 medium tank? Yes, officially this is the first time this tank has actually been sold for gold. But for 12,000 gold, literally, for 3,000 more, you could have gotten yourself a T10. WZ105A. And you know what's even funnier? This thing was in the store a couple days ago for 15,000 gold. And it had the legendary camouflage, it had the attachment, it had a bunch of other things for 15,000 gold. And that was a way better deal than what this thing will ever be. Don't get me wrong, the Vickers MBT is a fantastic tank. But for 12,000 gold, nah. No. Not good at all. Don't know what Wargaming were thinking by doing this, but who knows. Anyway, let's go through these tanks real quick. WZ115A, what's there to say about this tank? It's a great tank. It's Drills' favourite tank, for obvious reasons. It is got a great gun, it's got a great armor profile. I've already reviewed this tank, so there's no point in going over it right now. All you need to know is the alpha damage is decent. It's been nerfed, unfortunately. It used to have 460 alpha, so for some reason now it's got 440. Good DPM, decent gun depression, good penetration values. Overall, this tank is great, and I've very famously stated that I sold this tank by accident, and I don't know why I sold it. So, there you go. WZ105. Is it worth 15,000 gold? I mean, if you guys were smart enough, you would have, well, that's a bit of an insulting thing to say, isn't it? If you guys were aware of the bundle that was in the store for the WZ115A for 15,000 gold, you probably should have bought that instead. So my only thing to say with that would be, ha, Gardy, or sucked in, or whatever they used to say. Anyway, my point is, Wargaming, you tease us with a very good bundle in the store for the WZ115A, and then you release it in the freaking auctions anyway for 15,000 gold. So, good job, Wargaming. Good job. I feel like this tank is going to probably be one of those that is going to sell for less than 15,000 gold, even on APAC. I reckon NA and EU is going to be the same, which I really sincerely hope, because it is a great tank, but it's been sold so often, it's not worth the $15,000 gold mark anymore. 15,000 gold. So just be wary. Now, the Vickers MBT, I've made a full review of this tank on my channel. It's a great tank. It's got great mobility. It's got good armor, 150 on the hull, which is fantastic. 225 mils on the front of the turret. It's got decent concealment ratios, percentages. It's got 1900 DPM, so the DPM is not amazing for a T8 British medium tank. It's got 190 mils of APCR pen, so not amazing APCR, and it's got standard APCR, which is not that good, and premium APCR, so 264 mils of APCR pen. 65 is your HE, so quite a nice amount of HE penetration. You have a 320 alpha gun, and 400 is your HE damage. You got 4.1 second aim time, 0.355 dispersion. So the gun is nothing to cry home about. It's not amazing by any stretch of the imagination, but it's good enough. It's good enough. 8 degrees of gun depression can work fantastically well in your favor if you know what you're doing. And it goes 57 kilometers per hour, so that's a big bonus. So I can understand why people wanted to buy this thing desperately, but guys, come on, for $12,000, sorry, I keep saying dollars, for 12,000 gold, that's a ridiculous number. Just be wary about that, please. Okay, AMX CDA 105. What's funny is that this tank, there was a draw for this tank that you could purchase, hopefully, if you were lucky enough to get it at a really cheap price. Otherwise, you would have spent a ton of gold to get it. The thing I have with this tank is that it's got no armor. Technically speaking, I would consider this to be the E25, of tier 8. Look at the armor. Only 90 mils on the front of the hull. You're not gonna bounce anything at tier 8 or tier 9. Maybe tier 7 if you're lucky, but you're not bouncing much with this tank. Your concealment is decent, but it's not the best. You have 2300 DPM, so you don't have anywhere near as much DPM as the E25 at tier 7. You have a 9-second reload basically. 260 mils of APCR pen, which is decent, but not amazing. 310 is your heat pen, so you can probably run this with calibrated shells. 350 is the alpha. It's got a nice amount of alpha, but the DPM just isn't there to really make this thing worth it. It's not like an ISU 152 or an ISU 130 or an SU 130 PM or a Scorpion G. It isn't. It's almost like them, but it's not in a way. 3.6 second aim time, so it's pretty accurate but not amazing. And 0.326 dispersion. Again, it's an accurate gun, but the Scorpion G and the SC130 PM are more accurate than this. So yeah, and they're 128 and 130 millimeter, guns in comparison to this, which is clearly a 105 millimeter. 10 degrees of gun depression is quite nice. Sorry, 8 degrees of gun depression is quite nice. And you have a 50 km/h speed limit. So is the AMX CDA actually worth 7,500 gold? To some people it is. Personally, I don't really like it that much. I actually owned this tank and I sold it because I didn't really play it, nor did I like it. So I sold it to fund my gambling addiction. Hey, more crates. Anyway, my point being, it's okay. It's okay. It's good, but it's not amazing. There are literally every other tier 8 tank destroyer, apart from the T28, is just so much better. The T28 is just rubbish. It's just rubbish to begin with. But yeah, it's literally a glass cannon, for God's sake, that tank. Seriously, Bushka made a video on that thing as being the second worst tank in the game, or the third worst tank in the game at the time. And it still is, top tier, crappy tank at tier 8. It's just a shame. Anyway, 105, it's good, but I would not pay 7,500 gold for this. No thank you. The Svear. This is an interesting one because Wargaming gave this tank away for free, I believe last year, if I'm not mistaken. Someone correct me if I'm wrong. This is a great tank. This is a great medium tank. Okay, it's a Swedish medium tank. It's fantastic. It's basically a Leo, just better, right? It's got 110 mils in the front of the turret, so it's not amazing, but it's decent enough. 70 on the hull. Concealment is pretty damn good. 1900 DPM, so not a lot of DPM, but it's a T7 medium. 9-second reload. 155 mils of AP pen. Not the best. 194 mils on APCR. Not that good. If you really want this tank to be effective, you need to flank and shoot the tanks from the sides and the rear, because you're not really going to pen frontal armor on a lot of heavy tanks at T7 and Tier 8. So just be wary of that. You do have 290 alpha, which is quite nice, and 380 on your AG, so if you manage to pen, it's pretty good. 3-second aim time, it's pretty damn nice, but 0.403 dispersion, so it's quite accurate, but just be wary, is what I would say. And it has 10 degrees of gun depression, which is actually very, very nice. And it goes 55 kilometers per hour. I've got no complaints, to be honest with you. It's pretty damn good. For 5,000 gold, is it worth it? Man, no. Just wait for it to be cheaper. Simple as that. Wait for this tank to be cheaper. That's all I can say. Just wait for it to be cheaper. Trust me, it's going to be worth it. It's going to be worth your while. So, out of all these tanks, what would I recommend purchasing first? Definitely the WZ111 5A, if it's cheap. That would be my only sort of advice. Then the Vickers MBT, if it's cheaper than 12,000 gold. Do not buy this tank for 12,000 gold, because you will waste 12,000 gold. That would be my opinions. Just be wary. I'm recommending you purchase it, especially you guys on EU. This is going to sell out. I reckon it's going to sell out. All 1,250 of these things are going to sell out within an hour. Just wait. Okay? NA, good luck with you guys, bro. CDA, probably the Svear, then the CDA. That would be my advice. I'm off now. Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. This is my review of round, I think it's 19 now, isn't it, of the auctions. Hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to let me know in the comments down below what you think. Oh, by the way, there's going to be a video dropping as well in a few hours' time. You do not want to miss it. Trust me when I say this. It's a very big announcement. I can't believe Wargaming are doing this for the player base. Like, it's going to be insane. So just strap yourselves in, because trust me, it's going to be awesome. All right, ladies and gentlemen, look after yourselves, look after your friends and family, peace in the Middle East, and stay safe on the battlefield. Bye for now.